back. These are the morning mentions. Yeah. Horrible. Still thinking about what happened yesterday. And, our condolences to everybody who lost their job, lost their livelihood, the business owners having to go through all of this stress, and the insurance workers who are going to be having some sleepless nights to deal with all of this. Terrible. But at least nobody lost their life. It hasn't been reported that anybody lost their life. And the firefighters don't seem to have serious injuries.
Right.
So we're grateful for that.
And we're not hearing of any serious complications as it relates to smoke inhalation.
Nothing's
or
been
anything
reported
like
yet. So we're grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
Was there something you said you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, but when your vibes just broke, fire broke up my vibes, man. Not tell a lie. But I was seeing on page 83 of the Gleaner, right, that public sector wage boost warning is in effect, and this is by friend of the show Keenan Faulkner, economist. So we're seeing where salary hikes could spur spending but slow growth through infrastructural cuts, right? And that is what your economist friend here is saying. Massive increase in public sector salaries could become a double-edged sword. I'm sorry, I'm no economist, but how is that bad any at all, ever?
Inflation.
Jesus. I don't want
Rising
to hear that.
wages
I don't want to hear
makes
that.
rising costs, which makes rising wages, and makes rising costs, which makes rising wages, which makes rising
I don't want
costs.
to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
It's the first thing you learn.
How about, right? How about we just pause hiking up the costs on certain things? Like give us a moment to enjoy the increase in the salary, no? Give us a moment,
I don't
please.
know. It's like basic economics. It sucks.
Can't our government do anything about this?
Well,
that's what I'm asking.
That would be very akin to communism, right? Where they control, like, they plan the economy and that kind of stuff. I don't know if we really want that. I don't know if we really. I don't know if we want that, bro. I don't know if we can manage that right now. Especially with our friends and the deals that we're signing with them. No planning of the economy here.
I have to renew
Please.
my thing, so you would just be quiet over there, please. I'm begging you. So he's saying that a massive increase in public sector salaries could become a double-edged sword for the economy. Economist Keenan Faulkner has warned, noting that cuts in infrastructure spending could undermine long-term recovery. Faulkner said that wage increase could also have an immediate multiplier effect on spending in the economy in the short term, suggesting that this aid in boosting recovery through greater consumer boosting recovery through greater consumer expenditure. No, Claus, I don't know. I think shouldn't there be some staggering in terms of inflation as opposed to wage increase?
Well, when was the last time that they had a wage increase? Because I think that's what's more important and relevant based on the arguments, because it's been some time, right?
The last
minimum
time
wage
that
has
the
been
minimum
going
wage
up. Has been going up.
increased
This
was
administration
recently.
raised it quite recently, actually, and they raised it before that. But as it relates to like
But same time,
public sector workers,
at the same time, right? At the same time, the minimum wage was increased. Everything else increased.
Yeah,
so what
but-
I'm saying is that why can't we have some staggering? And like I said, I'm no economist, but you probably did economics. So perhaps you can tell us.
well, it's as I said before, as it relates to public sector workers and their pay, it's not always tied to the increase in minimum wage. I don't know if they introduced an increase in public sector wages during that time. I think that's what this negotiation has been about. And it's I can't say that they don't deserve more, especially when we see the increase that the parliamentarians got. particularly the leader of the opposition, and how much he's getting paid to do what exactly. Well, I don't know. But I can't really sit there and say the other public sector workers don't deserve an increase. We really have to find a way for our economy and our government to cut certain expenditures like food imports and to increase certain, you know, outputs like exportation and to get more foreign revenue so we can actually boost our economy in a material way so that the wages increase can be justifiable and it can actually not cause distress. But it's really there's a lot of things, the ongoing cost of energy and our lack of access to cheaper energy, why we don't have certain bigger boosts to our productivity that could satiate such an increase. So it's like it's almost like a catch-22 if you're familiar with the term, where it's like a paradox, and trying to fix it often makes it worse. So I'd love for Mr. Faulkner to explain in a more in a less rudimentary way, because I only have a very basic understanding. So maybe we can get him back on the show to explain to us. But again, unless we can increase our inputs in terms of the money that we're generating and lower our costs in terms of what we're spending on like our imports and stuff like that, it's kind of just gonna keep getting worse in a way. So yeah, no real good news. But the good news is
salary increase.
There is some good
Debt
news.
to GDP.
There's some good news. We're getting more. I see some deals are coming through with as it relates to like getting cheaper oil and stuff like that. The Petrojam contract is due to be renegotiated. I think in 2027. So the hard times will soon be over to some extent. Also, with our friends UPSO, maybe they can help us out. They're sending us some guys that could maybe help stimulate our economy. I don't know. Just I say, just I speak positivity. I don't know.
What is more, what gives me a little bit more hope is, that deal between us and
Ghana,
mm-hmm. right? And finding another avenue, right, of import and free trade.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that.
That could be really good.
I don't know about your UPSO, right? But
speaking of UPSO, you saw they killed 4 people yesterday. They bombed them out of the Caribbean Sea.
I didn't see.
They blew their boats up under suspicion of narco-terrorism.
Really?
For innocent men, because again, they weren't given due process.
Where did you see that?
They weren't proven guilty. It was on was it? Let me find the article. Yeah, they blew up 4 more again.
So I didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't.
I didn't see it at all. But where exactly? Can you say?
I'm gonna tell you. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. And it's not that I disbelieve you.
No,
you understand, because
we
did have the situation out of Trinidad there,
mm-hmm.
And it's still ongoing. Where a particular family is now suing as a result of, their loved one being just blown out of the waters.
CBS News: U.S. military destroys alleged drug smuggling boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where?
Let me find out. Oh, it's on the other side of. Oh, it's the Eastern Pacific.
Okay, so not
so
in
off
the Caribbean.
Latin America's Caribbean coast. Okay, there we go. Yeah. They've killed 223 people in 67 strikes. during the nearly year-long U.S. campaign of bombing alleged drug boats off Latin America's Caribbean coast and the eastern Pacific Ocean, which would be by the Gulf of, what do they call it now? The Gulf of America. U.S. Southern Command says the campaign has resulted in the destruction of 64 speedboats, 3 low-profile ships, and a semi-submersible craft. And this comes from pbs.org in America. The command said on social media on Monday that forces executed a lethal kinetic strike on a low-profile vessel operating along established narco-trafficking routes. We are committed to imposing total systemic friction on narco-terrorists, disrupting their operations, dismantling their leadership, and eliminating cartel terror across the region, says General Francis Donovan, who leads the U.S. Southern Command. The latest strike comes as the Trump administration pursues deals with allied nations to extend its offensive to land across multiple Latin American and Caribbean countries. It still lists him as defense secretary, but he's Secretary of War. Pete Hegseth said during a visit to Panama this month that Colombia, Guatemala, and Honduras had agreed to allow the U.S. to carry out joint military operations against criminal groups on their soil. Guatemala denied reaching such a deal. Ecuador also launched similar missions in the U.S. in March. The Trump administration's boat bombing campaign began in early September and has left numerous survivors, but most of them have never been recovered. U.S. Southern Command said in a separate statement on Monday that there have been more than 20 search and rescue efforts overall, almost all of which were unsuccessful. According to data compiled from the command's social media posts, the strikes have generated 28 survivors, with only 3 people ever being recovered. 1 person during a strike in March who was transferred to the Costa Rican Coast Guard, and 2 wounded people who were later repatriated to their home countries of Ecuador and Colombia. So, thanks to our friends for keeping our oceans safe from suspected terrorists.
I wonder if anybody's explaining to him, like human rights or.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, here's a strike. The U.S. military killed 4 people in a strike Tuesday against an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean Sea. The death toll, as I said, 227 from 68 strikes. Joint Task Force Western Hemisphere continues executing precise, lethal operations against the cartels, said General Francis Donovan. We will hunt, disrupt, and defeat these narco-terrorist networks. Southcom didn't provide evidence that the vessel was ferrying drugs, but said that confirmed intelligence revealed the vessel's active involvement in narco-trafficking.
What confirmed its involvement in narco-trafficking?
Confirmed intelligence.
Oh.
I quote.
So they don't want to share that intelligence?
No, I don't think it's a as is. I don't think we need to know. It's a need to know basis. And we don't need to know. We just have to.
Oops.
They confirmed it.
Oops.
So that's enough for us. Tuesday's strike came 2 days after the U.S. military carried out a strike on an alleged drug. Oh, so the first one in the Eastern Pacific was Monday. That was Sunday. They recovered it and reported it on Monday. The Tuesday zone is the one I was talking about where they killed 4. Yeah. Thanks, Pete. You're doing a good job. He's saving the region from narco-terrorists. Thanks, Pete.
I'm sorry. I'm beside myself.
Yeah.
At the total,
they're using
disregard for international law. What do you mean? This is law governing the entire world. Yes? And you decide that without evidence, yes, that extrajudicially, you're just going to say, okay, I feel as though
Well, they had confirmed intelligence.
Yeah, which party they? Show me.
They're,
Show me.
They're telling us that they had it.
Show me.
And that's good enough
Because
for our
certainly
administration.
the situation in Trinidad proved that whatever intelligence they had is not intelligence at all.
What about that visa of yours?
Yeah, you know.
Think of the visa.
You know what? You know what?
You know, go up there, go park.
Don't
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
it? No, but something must be said about this. You know, something must be said about this. And I fail to accept that there is someone advising him as it relates to international law and due process and so forth. No one could be saying to him that, hey, you know, Mr. President, look at this. We can't be going about it like this, but we can go about it like that.
Do you think like they have somebody who is like,
We'll talk to him and he will listen.
or not
I
just
don't know,
that?
maybe.
Do you
He's
think?
naming lakes now. He's naming
Oh yeah? I
Yeah.
thought they denied her.
go again?
I thought they withdrew her thing.
No, he has renamed a particular lake.
Oh, lakes. I
lake.
thought you meant the
Yeah.
ambassador to Jamaica,
No,
Kari Lake.
no, he has
Okay.
renamed a particular lake. He's busy,
Oh,
you know,
that's right.
doing some little
They have
things,
stuff to do.
right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know that he's being properly advised. Just give him some tasks now.
There must
let
be-
him
No,
rename
but
a couple stuff
There must be at least
and
one
leave the
person.
Caribbean Sea alone.
There must be at least one person in the office that's like, you know, we can't just kill them, right? We
No
can't
way.
just blow them out
I
of the
don't
water.
believe that. I don't believe
There
that
has
there's
to be
anybody.
at least one guy who's like, by the way, using kinetic energy to blow suspected criminals out of the water, that's like maybe against like human rights and like international law. Right? That's like very technically against the Geneva Convention.
Technically,
I mean, technically, yeah.
blatantly.
I mean, it just
No.
kind of is in a way, right? Lake Ontario is now Lake America.
And then okay, so here's my thing now. How far are you? Yes, how far are you striking? Stop it. How far are you striking these boats?
Well,
What about misidentification? What
I-
about if there's someone else on?
listen,
like you don't
go
think
deep sea.
about.
Jamaica, just don't go deep sea fishing. If you had a brethren that like for go off the coast and fish, just tell him don't. Just tell him don't do it. If you know somebody who like has a boat and likes to like take their boat out, go fishing, maybe go, just don't do it. If you know anybody who's a fisherman and their life is dependent on fishing, tell them to come back to school. You know, we need more plumbers. We need more, like if you love and care for your family, tell them don't go out on a boat because they're gonna die and they're gonna be blown out of the sky with a space laser.
And so we just have to, understand ourselves for a little bit and
Yeah,
know that
just
we're
don't
not
do
going
it.
to have any lobster,
Just don't
not
do
going
it.
to have any shrimp, not going to
Just-
have certain types of fish. And
Just don't do it.
We just don't go into the sea.
It's not worth it. They're gonna blow you out the sky with a space laser, and that will be that. And
No,
then
Klaus,
they'll tell
that
your
can't
family.
be what we're saying.
They'll tell your family that you are a narco terrorist.
That cannot be what we're saying. It has to be a case where it is brought to his attention very squarely that this is in violation of the law.
Well, this has been going on since September.
Nobody not tell him.
We've signed several deals with them.
What we do?
We had the military boat, the warship, come on a peace tour since then. We've signed the SOFA memorandum of understanding so that they can actually, their army can, act in our region and in our waters. So surely they're aware. Surely our administration is aware of this, right? Them have social media too. Them have newspaper too. Them can read and write. Surely, they've killed 200 and was it 27 or 77? They've killed over 200 people who have been suspected of being narco terrorists. We still need to go back to the term narco terrorist. Bro, what? What? I mean, not to point any fingers, cough, cough. You have a neighbor who's completely ran by cartels. You have a neighbor that you share a border with, a land border that you share this with. We saw one of them hold an entire town under siege and ransom because they arrested somebody. Yeah, no, I do, because the cartel had anti-aircraft missiles. I remember seeing that, and I thought, gee whiz, that's a narco-terrorist. They have anti-aircraft missiles. Okay, great. But I haven't seen an invasion of Mexico. I haven't seen any like groundworks going into there. I mean, there's a country where they arrested 4% of their citizens. 4%. Yeah, El Salvador. Basically, any adult male with a tattoo was sent to prison indefinitely because of how powerful the MS-13 and 18th Street cartels are in that country. Not really seeing them, you know what I mean, over there. So, so with Uncle Such,
Yes.
they would murder our children, like what they did in the Strait of Hormuz and Iran, where they murdered 186 little girls as they went to school and blew them up. Yeah, they'd blow up our children. That's what would happen. They would destabilize our government like what they did in the 80s and the 90s. And what they've done in, I guess, literally countless countries.
So pause, right?
Like
because
what they did in
remember,
Sudan, Somalia, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Kuwait, Yemen.
Right. You see those space lasers? I
Even
don't think
even
they
Grenada.
have any.
They did it in Grenada.
I don't think they have any.
1993 or 1996 or remember?
So the space lasers, I don't think they have any particular way of targeting one person. And remember,
No.
say I am in the studio with you.
Well,
Say I go back up, right? The conversation
That's the risk
there.
that you
You're
take.
gonna back up
That's
that
the risk that
conversation.
you take sitting down
Sir,
across from me every
sir,
morning.
Sir.
Yeah, if we're gonna sometimes,
Sure.
in order to
But-
stand
but-
for something, you have to fall for it too. So be
Oh.
careful. Cause me I sit cross.
No, but big and serious, I do believe that even the world leaders need to come together and say, hey, because I don't see anybody speaking out against it in a most public way.
Because they control every form of media that's ever been created. They built the internet. Yeah, they own TikTok now. They own TikTok with Israel. Yeah, they do. They bought TikTok from the Chinese. Yeah. They made it. Remember Trump did the whole thing where he was banning TikTok? Yeah, they did. A long time ago. That's why I lost my first TikTok account. They compromised my phone. So, yeah.
And then the whole recovery aspect of it, where they say, oh, and by the way,
They're survivors, but we left them out at sea.
No, we went out and we looked and we didn't find
my
anybody.
God. My thing is, like, they confidently reported on PBS, on their public broadcasting service, that there was 28 survivors, only 3 were recovered. So you mean there's 25 people out at sea? That their boat was blown up? And they're just out at sea for months? Huh? Okay.
Like I said, I think you know how you deal with bad children sometimes.
Yeah.
You just give them some little tasks to do that they think is very important and fun. Yes, like renaming. Even though I
Yeah,
see
go and
Stacy,
rename the lakes then,
Stacy
bro,
here.
and thing,
Good morning to you, Stacy. Auntie Stacy there. She's saying that the Canadians are not having it in terms of the renaming of Lake Ontario to Lake America.
Where's their worship? Where's their nuclear weapons? Where's their Secretary of War?
You remember, we can't have that. If you have nuclear weapons, they will go in and say that they have a reason.
Maybe Canada wants some
to
freedom.
invade you.
Maybe Canada
And,
needs a little bit of freedom. Huh? Maybe their democracy
Leave Canada
is
alone. I
working.
feel like that's the last place.
Yeah?
That is.
Oh, yeah?
All right.
I think they need to know what they're doing before them get some freedom underneath them. Yeah. How about that? Some democracy. Maybe they find oil in Canada. I don't know. Yeah. Want to settle on yourself. Yeah.
It's such a frightening time that we live in. It's such a frightening time that we live in. No, honestly.
And the greatest part is I can say this openly because it's just the truth. It's just the reality of the situation. There's no like, we're suing clause for defamation. Well, it's in the newspaper. It was on PBS. At least we know like this is going on like for real. Imagine back in the day, like, and they'd call you a conspiracy theorist for stating stuff that's genuinely happening in the world. Imagine that, like, being persecuted for speaking the truth. At least now we can talk the truth. Sure, I may not have a visa. Sure, I'll probably be arrested if I try and go to America. Yeah, but at least I can say it. Great times. So happy to be
You
alive.
really want to focus on this.
By the
I don't
way,
want to focus on this.
I'm not suicidal. I never have been. And I love my life. I love my friends and my family. I'm doing great mentally, not depressed. And I have never, ever contemplated suicide. Just making that explicitly clear. And if anything was to happen to me, yeah, you don't know. Not suicidal.
So we have to take a quick break. Yeah, you're listening to Sleek Radio. And I'm not even sure if I want to say what you're listening to at this point in time. But we'll soon come back, guys.